is not playing, but Janelle act like she playing, so I don't know. Janelle's giving, I'm going to choose myself at the end. I can almost guarantee y'all Janelle is going to choose herself at the end. So anyway, it's going to be a Kyra or a Sabrina. Watch. So, anywho. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. It's Friday night, so y'all know we got Talk Ohms, Ready to Love. This was season 8, episode 4. I think the title was The Black and the Beautiful Hoedown. I think that's what it was called. It'll be right in the description. Before we get into it, I would definitely appreciate if y'all click that thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this content. Share it where you like to share. And comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of this episode. This was another pretty good episode. It was decent. Shout out to my girl, Shayna McD. She did a live with some other YouTubers. I wasn't too familiar with them, but I will find out their YouTube names and definitely follow them as well. They did a panel right after the episode about the Ready to Love. Sound like they was talking about other stuff too. I had to kind of dip it in and out of it, but if you didn't catch the live, definitely catch the replay on my girl Shayna McDee's channel. She reviews Ready to Love as well, and the panel definitely was good. So shout out to her for doing the panel. That's something I definitely want to get into as well. So anyway, let's get into the episode. I feel like I've been trying to do this episode all night long. But my auntie called me, and then my friend called me because we trying to do something before the kids come back to school next week because we both teachers. So, but we know we was too tired for tonight. Y'all know how it is in your 30s. So anyway, enough about me. Let's get into this episode. So the ladies meet for another brunch. I was like, we going down to brunch again. And so we see Kira in the confessional. She said, she's looking good. She's feeling good. And we're going down to the brunch to meet up with the ladies. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm going down to the brunch. We're going to wear my boots. I'm going to be so cute. Anyway, y'all know I'm a Cali girl, so I can do the Valley girl accent all day long. Like, sometimes I just do it just to entertain myself. But anyway, they get down to the brunch. Kat comes, and so some of the ladies have not met Kat yet. So Eunik was like, okay, I see her. She tall. She competition. She looking good. Okay, so Kat was like, what's the tea? What's y'all connections looking like? I'm trying to, y'all telling it. And Lee was like, oh yeah, we definitely tell it so you don't be taking my man, okay? So if I was on the show, I would not be telling y'all heifers who I was connected with because y'all ain't going to be get me in the back, okay? So anyway, Nephew Tommy comes and he says, hey to the ladies. He welcomes Kat. And he says, they're going to have a hoedown. You can get your outfits together. Come down to the good old hoedown, okay? So then later on we see 2 dates before the hoedown. So the first date we see was Sierra and Marije. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how hot is it in Dallas because Sierra was wearing this big old blue puff coat over some more denim. That girl love her some denim, don't she? And I was like, how hot is it in Dallas? Because y'all tell me it's not that hot. As what they be making it look like. It's not that hot. I was like, girl, what is this meaning of this puff coat? So, but she was cute, girl, but it was giving a lot. And then she had a blue purse. It was just a lot of blue. And I was like, ain't she like a stylist? But everybody got their style is subjective. So she cute, but nevertheless. So anyway, Marije came down his black turtleneck. He said he trying to show up right because she the expert. She was like, and is. And so they were, talking, and she was asking, him questions, asking him, has he ever been married? He said no. She was like, no one, you never popped the question. Nobody. He said no one has been that special to him yet. I think he thought it was going to be the mother of his child, but she was still involved with her ex, and so he had to move on. But, it's hard raising a kid. He's like, dad need love too. So he's trying to get a stepmama for his baby, y'all. He asked her when was her last relationship. She said 4 or 5 years ago. And but she made a comment about something about like she can always find a man when she needs something to eat, and she always been a hustler and all that. It was giving very much homegirl, but he was liking it. Marije definitely don't have a type though, because last week he was claiming Jessica, drawing a line in the sand, but she wasn't giving him nothing back. Now he really like to see Aries and putting claims to that. So Marije just trying to make a connection where he can connect. I ain't mad at it though. Anyway, he said he wants to be able to connect with like someone who's his best friend. Like he want to be attracted to his best friend. He want to have sex with his best friend. And I was like, oh, okay. So Sierra was like, okay, so do you know, she said this is the deepest connection she's made so far. Like they can have deep conversations. She really don't get deep like this with people. And so she was like, well, are you, wanting, are you attracted to your best friend right here? And I was like, since when are y'all best friends? But okay. People be throwing around the term friend and best friend too loose for me. So, anywho, he was like, oh yeah, definitely. He's like, yeah, I'm definitely attracted to you. I definitely, want to do that. I can definitely show you. We can get out here right now. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, okay. She said, Marije, he don't want to hold hands at the park. He want to hold hands somewhere after dark. And I was like, yeah, he want to get it popping. So they had a good day. I don't see any chemistry there. If y'all see the chemistry, put it in the comments for me, please. Then the next day we get to with Lee and Red. It was giving boring. So anyway, Red came down in his little pink suit jacket, and Lee is sitting there looking like she could fall asleep any minute now. She did not want to get up to give that man a hug. So he sat down, and she was asking him about, like, does he see himself going on beyond the process, making connections and all that. So then he was like, oh, nah, I want to talk about me and you. I don't want to talk about nobody else. She was like, I asked you a question. I'm talking about who, you could see a future with. And she's like, you didn't answer the question. And so then she was saying like, I want to see you outside of, your element, I want to see you like come out your shell, because everybody's like, Red is not really giving what they thought Red was going to give, because he's a comedian and DJ and all that good stuff, right? So he was like, yeah, he's actually more of an introvert than people would know, and it's surprising because he is a comedian and stuff, but it's like once he had to get comfortable and warm up to people, which I get that. He was saying he would like to be a fly on the wall to know what people really think of him. I'm like, ooh, it ain't good, Red. Read the Twitter comments. But anyway, and he was saying like he want people to get know the real him, basically. And then he started going over his resume, y'all. He was like, yeah, I used to work for the city of Dallas for this many years, and I was a senior compliance person of this and that, and then I worked over here, and I'm really good with math. I got good math skills. I come to work on time. I'm never late. I could type 35 words a minute. I could do Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, all that good stuff. So Lee was like, do other people have good, exciting, fun conversations with you? Because it's giving, I'm in class. And she was saying like she could tell he was calm in the beginning, but she can't, like she wants somebody to kind of match her energy. She can't do all the calmness. She had one of my edibles when she was on that day, y'all. Anyway, she was just like, she wanted him to loosen up more. He's like, what you want me to do? Get 17 shots? What you want to do? What you want to do? And he just wants someone to love him for him. He wants someone who enjoys that at home side of him. And I get that, but I think he's missing like coming through with the confidence. Like he don't got to be up there telling jokes all the time, but he could kind of use humor to reel these girls in. And to me, he's not playing into his strengths enough. I'm not saying he needs to be turning it on all the time. Like you don't want to have to do all that all the time. Trust me, I get it. I teach severely handicapped kids, so when I'm in class, I'm like blah blah blah, high energy, giving the kids everything I got. But when I get in the car to go home, I'm quiet because I'm done talking. Okay, so I get it. He ain't gotta be doing all the extras all the time, but just kind of let us see a little something, crack a joke or two. A girl like to laugh. Shoot. Anyway, then we get down to the hoedown, okay? So everybody came in their best Western or worse Western outfits. Nephew Tommy says they are at a Black-owned farm, so shout out to the Cowboys, and they had them come out, so that was really cool. Thought we'd get more of a history lesson about that, but we didn't. Then he's like, enjoy yourself at the hoedown, and one of the men will be going home tonight. So Chris is like, excuse me, Nephew Tommy. I gotta go because I'm getting awarded my job and I have to be there to receive it. And I just wanted to let you know that. He was like, oh, you're getting awarded your job. He was like, okay, because I don't let nobody leave my hoedown. He's like, you don't have to bring me a note bag. When you're gonna be absent, you gotta bring your doctor's note next day to get your absent excuse. That's what Nephew Tommy wanted. So he told him congratulations. He was like, but you better make your rounds because you don't want to end up, gone, and then you be gone. Like basically like, you won't get eliminated because you left early, like Justice did, right? And at least Chris said something, because some of y'all was leaving for work. Like, we get you got work, but you need to say something. That's tacky to just leave and not say nothing. So anyway, because everybody's having a good old time down to the hoedown. So we saw Janelle was sitting with Quentin, and she was like, I want my next man to better pick me up. So then he acted like he's gonna pick her up, and she's like, not right now. Janelle, what were you wearing at the hoedown, girl? But Jessica, she was cute. Lee's green boots was cute. Y'all seen Kyra brought her white boots back to the hoedown. I said, this is where you supposed to have your white boots on, Kyra, or they gonna get dirty out there, girl. Did y'all see how they all them bugs and stuff out there? I would have been like, where y'all got me at in this dirt with these bugs and these stanky animals? But it looked fun still. All right, so then we see Christoper, because Christoper hadn't met all the ladies yet. And so Sierra and Kyra were like, oh, he fine, okay. So they were, and I think he met Kat as well, and they were asking him if he has kids. Has he ever been married? No, he ain't got no baggage. Not that kids are baggage. And so they were like, okay, like check. Kyra was like, oh yes, then you can stay. She twirling around with her drink in her hand, doing her cheerleader moves. Something about Kyra irritates me, y'all. I'm sorry. It's just something about her. Is it just me? Drop it in the comments. So then we see Christoper have another conversation with Eunik, and they were just kind of connecting, and he was telling her like what he wants and how he wants to really build with somebody. She was saying she could tell that he has like a tough exterior, but not like he has a wall up, just like he's has a toughness about him. And so he's like, see, now you're talking, now you're talking my language. And they kind of connected and had a better understanding of each other than we saw them have at the football field on the last date, where Eunik was like, I don't play. And he was like, ooh, the child, she don't play. So he was like, the first time I met her, she made me nervous when she said she don't play, but now like talking to her, I can understand like that's just how she is. And they really connected. Later on, she said he's in her top. I can actually see them working out. I can see that. If Christoper is there for real. So then later on, then we see everybody mixing and mingling. We seen Quentin and Lee playing cornhole. Or no, they were playing like a dart game. I'm sorry. And he was like, I want to play you for kiss on the cheek. I just want to kiss on the cheek. She's like, I kiss on that cheek, but he lost. So I don't know if he got it or not. Then we saw Janelle in the hammock with Herbert, okay? Herbert had that tight jean shirt on, but she was looking good, Herbert. So she was like, yeah, growing up, and I would sit on my grandma's porch, and she had a swing, and I would swing, and this just reminds me of that. I was so peaceful and all that. So Herbert trying to make the hammock swing. Now, he had me a little nervous, because it was a lot of weight on that hammock. So anyway, they having a good time. So she's like, you trying to make it swing? So they was trying to figure out how to both trying to make a swing at the same time, but it wasn't really working. So then she was like, you doing it too hard? He was like, oh, I'm doing it too hard. They made a lot of sexual innuendos in this episode, y'all. So then she was like, tell me something about yourself you never told me. So then he was like, yeah, one time I went skinny dipping in the water. So she was like, the pool, the ocean, the lake. He said the ocean. He was like, yeah, I just, I wanted to feel the ocean on me. And he said it was at nighttime. He was in the moonlight. He said, but he said he would do it in the daytime too. Because he said he ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. I said, okay, Herbert. And so then he looked her all in the eyes. So would you go skinny dipping with me in the moonlight and the daylight? So before she could even answer, Quentin came over there with his unbuttoned shirt, because Quentin and the first Chris, they was walking around with their shirts all open. I think Marvin might have been too. They was showing what they was working with, okay? So they was like, let me show y'all this chest. I didn't mind looking. So Quentin, like I said, came over there, and he's like, oh, you see, y'all too close. And then her was like, what you doing over here? You're supposed to be over here with no shirt on. And he's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be right over there, up in there with the shirt on. So I said on Twitter, Quentin need to get on the hammock and get on the other side of Janelle. But that thing probably would have broke at that point, y'all. But it would have been funny if he would have tried to make a little Janelle sandwich, right? I'm like, I would have been jealous of her then. So then let's see, everybody, they mixing and mingling. Sierra was talking about the cops in New Orleans riding horses and blah blah blah. So then we see Kira talked to Herbert a little bit. I don't know when they had a little connection, and she over there doing cheerleader moves. Then we see Red circle back to Eunik. Okay, we saw this in the preview, so we knew it was coming. So Red said he like to go off good energy, good vibes, all that. Eunik was like, me too, yep. So he was like, when we first met, you said some things and you didn't really even know me, and I just want to clear the air and all that. And so she was like, okay, like, our initial conversation, I said what I said, and I still stand by what I said. She said what she said, and she's not changing it. But she was like, I'm sorry if you took offense of it. It was just a joke. Basically she was like, I would think you would have had tougher skin as a comedian and all that. And he was like, well, you called my job, you made things about my job and said I was in the streets and all that. She was like, but you are. And he was like, you don't know me like that. I'm well known. I'm good in business. I didn't work with the what do you say, the Mavericks and the XFL and the NFL and the CIA and the NYC and all that. He's like, I'm well known in these streets. I'm popular in these streets. And he's like, you just didn't get that out the blue. She's like, well, I've heard about, basically like she didn't heard about his name out in the streets. And I'm like, girl, what is the tea? Eunik, you got to give us some tea about Red in this reunion, girl. So he was like, I'm well, girl, I made it or not, I'm the king of Dallas. I'm the king of Dallas. Now, mind you, everybody else was looking crazy around, like, because they could see this heated conversation. And he over there talking about he the king of Dallas. And she's like, okay, like, it is what it is. And his thing is like, you didn't even try to get to know me. We have a conversation for 15 minutes and you basing it off of that. She was like, it wasn't even that long, but if you want to say it was that long, I'll give you that. And she was like, that's is what it is. Like, basically, she's like, we ain't got to move forward together in this process anyway. And y'all don't like Red. Why are you circling back? Like, I didn't get what was his point of bringing this back up. Like, what did he want her to say at this point? She's not taking it back. Just move on, let it go. Don't talk to that lady. Like, what are you doing? It's just making it worse. He's just digging himself a hole. It's really embarrassing at this point, okay? Okay, so then, like I said, we see everybody mixing and mingling. I believe Chris ends up having to leave. And Jessica was like, oh, I hate to see you go. He's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just going to be good for me to go. She's like, well, you worked hard. You earned this. And she was like, let's just take you around to all the ladies. Because Jessica said in the confessional, she don't want, when elimination come, her man getting eliminated. She don't want the ladies to forget about him. So she going to take him around on this tour, the compliment tour, and make sure the ladies remember why they're going to keep him in the top. So Jessica played good old PR manager with Chris and held his arm and walked him around to all the ladies. And, they was giving each other compliments and all that. I mean, she prodded Chris around the farm to make sure he gonna stay, okay? And she told me, yeah, we competitive over here. We gonna be in the winner circle, And they was holding hands and stuff. I could see them working out too. Now that's a connection I can see. Y'all let me know if y'all agree in the comments. But Chris left, and that was that. He fine, okay. So anyway, then we seen Herbert talk to Kat, because I don't think Herbert had met Kat, and so he told her, your reputation, I couldn't think of the word, y'all. Your reputation precedes you. And so she's like, what that mean? Everybody been saying that. He's like, exactly right there. What it means, everybody been saying that. And she's like, what they been saying? And so he's like, the new girls in town, ooh, Kat's here. Ooh, y'all see Kat? She tall and all this. And so he was like, yeah, everybody was saying that, 80% of the men here, don't meet the height requirement. And he was like, I ain't got to worry about that. I'm in the 20%. That don't bother me. I was like, I know that's right, Herbert. But Kat was liking her some Herbert. She was like, he's giving very much grown man vibes, which he is. I like that about Herbert as well. Don't be no little boy out here in these streets. We also saw Aries and Phil. I don't know why I wanted to call him Josh, y'all. We also saw Aries and Phil, sit down and have a conversation. And so she was like, yeah, I feel all giddy and I talk to you. Like, am I doing too much? And so Aries' shirt was real cute. That black lace, that was cute. So he was like, nah. And so he was asking her, she's going to be continuing to travel a lot for work and everything. And she was like, yeah, but, hopefully not too much longer. He was like, yeah, because I'm going to miss you so much. And, I'm going to have to email them. He's like, BC me. Matter of fact, just put CC me in the email. They don't know it's all good. He was cheesing the whole time he was talking to her, too. I'm hoping he genuinely likes Aries. Aries did say in her confession that she liked flirting with Phil. Oh, side note, I forgot to mention, this was funny. When Sierra was meeting Christoper, she was like, yeah, he look real good with that hat on, but hopefully he not hatfishing. So the producers was like, what's a hatfish? So she's like, you know when a guy be real cute with a hat on, but then he take his hat off, and then he be that cute, that's hatfish, okay? Everybody know what a hatfish is, though. No shade to y'all men. Y'all have y'all terms for the ladies. So anyway, back to Aries and Phil. So Phil was like, yeah, why you so dang fine? You so dang fine. And you know, we see their little flirting and their connection, so that was cute to see. Then we saw a conversation with Marvin and Kyra, right? And so Kyra was saying she wanted to see what's really good with Marvin. So she sat down in the hammock with him. Kyra kept that drink in her hand the whole time, okay? So she was like, yeah, so, you know, you recently were, like, calling me and texting me and saying, like, I was a pleasant surprise. And she was like, you know, like, I'm here. Oh, my God, like, what you mean? Oh, my God. So he's like, yeah, like, you know, when you came to the last date with the leather and the lace on, he was like, okay, I'm feeling that. I like that. She's like, yeah, well, I'm here just for you. And so she was like, I know you were mentioning, you know, about you wanted to move to the Caribbean, and you know, what about, you know, having a family? What about being here? Like, you know, what if the person you end up with doesn't want to do that? Like, do you need to find somebody who wants to go down to the Caribbean with you? So I'm like, Kyra, girl, you're not leaving with him tomorrow to go to the Caribbean. Like, relax. He's not asking you to move. So you don't even know him. So he was like, you know, Dallas is definitely, like, look around. It's a nice place to have a family. Like, I'm open to that too. He's like, I'm not opposed to it at all. He also said, I've obviously made these plans without having somebody in mind, like without a partner. So I get what he was saying. Like, that's what he's interested in doing. But yeah, it could possibly change because I haven't discussed this with the person I'm going to be with, obviously, because he looking for love. I'm ready for love on our own network. So he was like, but yeah, you know, I'm open to living in Dallas and da-da-da. And so she was like, yeah, you know, with Marvin, it's very much giving. He's just giving the answers that I want to hear. Because now all of a sudden he's saying he can live in Dallas. And it's just giving red flags. That girl looking for red flags as hard as she can find them. But at least she ain't being silly. So I don't think he was necessarily, it did kind of, okay. On one hand, I could see it definitely kind of sounded like he was just giving whatever answers to fit the mode. But I also get what he means by he ideally wants to move to the islands and have a family there. But also, he doesn't know what his partner wants to do. So he's still open to other possibilities. Because like he said, he hasn't made that plan with somebody yet. So he understands that part too. So I see both sides. Okay, so I think we covered everything before the hoedown. If I missed something, let me know in the comments. So now we get down to the hoedown. The people come out. They said they want to teach him some line depths and some stepping. I was like, was they doing that to me a step? Because that one is hard, y'all. I'll be practicing it, but it's hard. So they was doing the stepping. You know, Kyra, she's like, you know, this is my element. I know I'm one of the best dancers here. I got really excited. She's doing her cheerleader moves. So we see everybody doing the stepping. They was like, we gonna need some instructions over here. Christoper's nervous because he said, you know, he don't even know how to do the electric slide. He is not a dancer. He ain't got no rhythm. So the people, you know, showed him how to do it. And then they were like, okay, we want y'all to do it on your own. So they were showing everybody dancing. Janelle, she was getting it. Aries was getting it. Aries said her, Quentin, and Kyra were clearly the, you know, line dance leaders. Quentin really knew how to move. He was getting it with his shirt open. He was getting it, okay? But y'all, when the camera panned to Christoper and it made that like little stop noise, I was cracking up hollering because what was Christoper doing? He was like, you could tell that he was off beat and they wasn't even playing the right music to go with they dancing because you know they ain't gonna play the Clear No songs on own, okay? They don't got the budget for the music. But Christoper, every time they showed Christoper dancing, y'all, I was hollering. That was hilarious to me. So anyway, they got down with the hoedown. They had a good old time. Then we see everybody kind of sitting around talking. After that, we see Quentin talking to Janelle. And Quentin was like, oh, you know, I finally got some time with you. He was like, yeah, you popular. She's like, no, you're popular. And so they was like, well, as long as, you know, we get our time together, we be popular together. So she was saying, you know, she's enjoying talking to him all the time and the check-ins he does and all that good stuff, but she wants to make sure that they will be able to still have a connection after the process. Like, basically it's going to work out for the long haul. And so he said he definitely doesn't see that being a problem. Like, he's not stopping, he's full speed ahead. I hope Quentin is not playing, but Janelle act like she playing, so I don't know. Janelle's giving, I'm going to choose myself at the end. I can almost guarantee y'all Janelle is going to choose herself at the end. So anyway, it's going to be a Kyra or a Sabrina. Watch. So, anywho. And then I guess she was wearing his hat or something, or her hat. I don't know whose hat she's wearing. So he's like, yeah, I like that hat on you. Like that hat on you, girl. And so then she's like, oh, I got your hat on. So does that mean, you know, I'm yours or you're mine? Something like that, she said. And so then he was like, okay, yeah, that's like, you know, they making a claim on each other. We gonna see though. Then the next thing we see Marvin talking to Lee. Lee again looked like she's ready to go to bed. And so she was like, because, you know, Marvin was getting told about him bugs. And so she's like, I can see, you know, farm life is not for you, Mr. Marvin. And so he was like, no, it's definitely not for me. And so she was asking, or he was saying, you know, he really liked her, like that red dress from the first day. He was really feeling her. You know, he's really enjoying getting to know her and talking to her. Now, I didn't think they were still connecting because after the second day brunch, she was like, Marvin is not for her. She's not into all those 50 Shades of Black. Okay, so I was like, so since when y'all been connecting? Because Lee was not having it, but whatever. So y'all know they don't show us everything on camera. So anyway, Lee was like, yeah, I know, you know, you want a deep connection and all that with someone, but, you know, where do you get bored? Because Marvin was saying he wants to be married. He wants to have the same life, basically, his parents had. He wants to give his kids what his parents gave him. And so she was like, are you going to be able to settle down and like be in a monogamous relationship? And he's like, yeah, definitely. And she's like, but, you know, would you get bored? Like, I would worry about that. And so he said no. But I was like, was he doing what was he doing before that? Was he not doing monogamous? Like, what was he doing? So, I mean, I know he's into the kinks and all, but it was really good. So he was saying, you know, if he has that special person, there's certain things he wants to do with just them only. See, I need to know what be going on for real, Marvin. Like, what's really good? So she was like, okay, are you gonna tell what that is? So, you know, if you got Marvin to yourself, he basically was saying he got an ass worshiping fetish. And you know what I said? I got plenty to worship over here, Marvin, okay? So then he was saying he got an oral fetish, and he said something else they bleeped out. Then he was saying he got the whips and chains under the bed. He got something under the bed that can make your, you know, when you reach your climax, more intensified, and it makes it where the woman can't try to like escape it and all this stuff. I was like, eyes wide open the whole time. When I rewatched it 2 or 3 times before I did this review, I was like, so what he said he got, y'all? I am intrigued, Marvin. I don't know, you know, I'm gonna need a safe word. I don't know if I can get into all that, but I am intrigued to see what you got under the bed. So, Lee was like, I don't know, you know, that is, she ain't with all that. She gonna have to slide to the right, okay? So then we see everybody hanging out, talking, and Nephew Tommy comes over there because he needs to deliberate with the ladies. So, because one of the men folks is going home. So he talks to the ladies, who are y'all feeling? Lee says Quentin for her. Janelle said Quentin, he does check-ins and all that. All the ladies is like, oh, really? You know, Janelle always got to one-up somebody, y'all. It's like somebody else said Quentin, but I can't remember who it was. Let's see. Then we see Jessica said Chris. Y'all see she didn't say Marije. So Sierra said Marije, that they had a good connection. Kat said Herbert. He gives the grown man vibes. And Kiara said Herbert as well. I don't see that connection at all, girl. But okay. Then I believe Nephew Tommy asked who they were not feeling. Red's name came up quite a bit. Eunik said, you know, it's just no connection. Where it stops and where it starts, there's no connection between them. She didn't even spray him about the other stuff. You know, they cut that out. Let's see. I think a few other ladies said Red. Kat said Red because, you know, he's all trying to be known in town because she's seen the argument happening. Sierra said was it Quentin or Marvin? Marvin's name came up quite a bit. I think Sierra said Marvin. Jessica said Marvin. She don't know. Like one day is this, the next day is that. Lee said she couldn't get into the kinks and all that. Janelle said Christoper. She said she's not feeling Christoper. You know, the more she talks to him, she's trying to see if he would, you know, knock somebody else at her top. But he's not doing that. And the more he talks, he keeps like reading off his accomplishments and resume, and it's not really giving what it needs to be given. I told y'all last week, when they went on that pizza date, I knew Janelle did not like that man. She did not like that man. He was liking her, but she did not like that man. And yeah, we can see she don't like that man. I think that was it. So basically Marvin and Red are going to be in the bottom, y'all. So Jessica is the spokesperson. She's like, I have two pictures in my hand. She's like, I need Marvin and Red to come to the front. So, you know, they both nervous. They don't want to go home. And Marvin was like, you know, he had laid all his cards on the table. And so she basically gave him, you know, both positives, but both things they need to work on. And she's like, the gentleman going home is to be continued. So Ready to Love on people put another fast one on us, and now we gotta wait all the way to next week to see who went home. Okay, this was a to be continued. We did not need, this was not a juicy one. It wasn't like the first one where we were like, Brandon or Habib, they both red flags. Like, which one is it gonna be? Like this one, like, you know what? Just tell us. We don't need to continue it. Just tell us. Anyway, that was the end of the episode, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will talk to y'all soon about Love and Marriage Detroit. Bye.